Hello everyone, it's Roger and Abe here for episode 13 of the Disney Infinity and Beyond presented by Vita Kingdom Webcasts. Episode 13, and it's just in time for Halloween, so that was quite good timing. So, this week on the show, we have got quite a lot of bits and pieces, and we're going to have quite a bit of news from Extra Life. Abe was lucky enough to be at the event in person, so he will be giving us his own personal thoughts and details from that event. But we've also got a few other little bits and pieces to go through news-wise, and we're going to kick off with the news. Okay, so as I said, we're gonna go on to the Extra Life stuff in a minute, but so we'll just kick off with a little bit of basic news that we found out this week. Kicking off this week, I think tomorrow is the big release date of Hulk in the United States as a single character that we had to pick up.
Yeah, huge anticipation for a lot of people out here.
Yeah.
So
I think the whole idea of doing that exclusive character for the collector's edition for a month, it was a good way of doing it. Everyone was going to be able to get it eventually, but I think they haven't let people wait too long.
yeah, 30 days was long enough, and I just like the fact that this is probably the only time exclusive we'll see on this excursion with 2.0.
Yeah, I think they've made the right decision in sort of abandoning all those sort of ideas of doing timed exclusives and retail exclusives. If this was the only one that they had, it wasn't too bad. Though we were both PlayStation 4 people, so maybe if we were on Xbox, we would have fared a bit differently.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the collector's edition people were lucky. It was easier. I've had them since E3, so
Yeah.
I was in no rush.
But if you haven't, or if you are thinking about picking up Hulk, I would suggest doing it. He's one of my favourite characters to play with. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's amazing. Well, he was my favorite, though.
Yes, we'll get onto that again. We had a few little snippets come through. I saw this on JV's Twitter feed. Just confirming that Jasmine will be out in February. She's going to be available as a single pack. She's going to be also available as a twin pack with those two Aladdin themed discs.
Yeah, it's a kind of appropriate time frame too, because I know we'll get into Extra Life, but during the live feed, he did say that she'd be coming out around Valentine's Day, so it makes sense since Aladdin and her are coming out together.
I think it's a good idea just to spread them out a little bit anyway. I'm sort of sliding into this idea of the fact that Aladdin is out in sort of just over a week's time, and then we're going to have her out later. It's perfectly fine. I'm not too keen on this idea that I'm going to have to basically buy Aladdin again to get the power discs, because I don't really want to wait till February for Aladdin. But you don't have that problem.
Yeah, I do not. But the thing though is that I don't know. I keep hearing that it's those exclusive discs that will be in that 2-pack. Apparently, they might just be snuck into the power disc packs later on as well.
Oh.
So some people might not even have to buy 2 Aladdins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I like the idea that they do these toy box packs with those discs. I mean, personally, I preferred a toy box game instead of some terrains, but maybe we can hope for that for 3.0. But yeah, it's one of those things for me. It's I felt like they should have both been available at the same time to stop that problem. It doesn't seem the fairest way of doing it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they picked their lineup of characters to produce for this November launch, and then I guess she was left out a bit. So
yeah, it's just a bit of a. It's just if they were both launched on the same day, it would make more sense in how they've done it. But we'll worry about Jasmine back in February when we see her. She looks pretty cool. I think you saw her in person, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Other little bits of news come out. Again, Vala sort of JV, that the Vita starter pack will be containing something special. Now that was pretty much, we don't know what that is, what that means. Could it be a figure? I don't think it's going to be anything particularly too exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I was questioning can it be the figure, and if it is, could it be one of the two figures they haven't announced yet? And the reason why I say that is, because Vista is on the computer, which requires you to have the internet, so maybe that might be the way they decide to announce these two characters
Yeah.
via a different platform.
Does
But
does the PlayStation Vita need to be online? Because that's not the console I've picked up.
oh, Vista. Okay, I think
Yeah,
isn't it Vita?
Vita. Is
That's
it
why.
Vita? Is it? Oh, Vita. See, that's it's. I must admit, it's the one I really didn't. This after having a PlayStation Portable for a while, I've just dropped out
They
of.
changed some names, so yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of. I must admit, I had a PlayStation Portable, and I never really got on with it too well, so I've not really been too much into it.
Yeah,
But
I
yes,
thought you were talking about like Vista computer
yes.
version.
Sorry, yeah, yeah.
It's okay.
It begins with V. It was close enough there.
Yeah. Well, in that case, if it's coming with something special, then it looks like they're continuing the whole Sony exclusivity type of thing, with the
Yeah,
collector's edition. And so maybe this might have something too.
it wouldn't
But
surprise. Yeah, I mean, if it was again, they might do it like a timed exclusive kind of
that's what I was
thing.
gonna say. It could be one of those, like maybe it's gonna contain, I don't know, one of the villains or something. Who
Yeah,
knows? That's interesting.
we'll find out a little bit more about that later. It's good the fact they've still got a few little sort of tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
there's also going to be a Toy Box app coming for Android. We're literally just awaiting on the Apple version to hit in November, but apparently JV said that they are working on an Android version. Makes sense. Android is kind of pretty much the biggest software platform for smartphones and tablets. It might not have the same clout that Apple do, but a lot more people use it because it's cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and especially most other phone lines use Android. You know what I mean? So it's like Apple's the only OS system.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's largely used, and it's definitely a long time waiting because it should have been out a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I'm actually at this precise minute just pricing out getting an iPad. I don't currently have a tablet, still on sort of laptops and stuff, but one of the main reasons I've been looking at it is the fact that I would like the ability to sort of build toy boxes, etc., on the go, and sort of take it around with me, etc. And it's one of those things of just like looking into like that would be quite cool. I think the tablets, they look like they've got so much more powerful now than they used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just waiting, just literally, it's Christmas coming up, so I'm starting to drop hints to family members. It's like,
So
well,
we
if you
do
want to
it.
give me any money, I can put it. That's what I'm planning on putting it towards, so kind of thing.
That's awesome.
That's my plan for the next couple of months. Okay, so that there was. We also had a little bit of information come out, so I'm just going to bring up the screen here. So we found out Disney have put out that on November the 1st and November the 2nd at Once Upon a Toy in downtown Disney at Walt Disney World, they are going to be basically putting out some of the original characters early. They're going to have the Big Hero 6 figures there just in time for them to be out in theatres. And guests will receive one complimentary Disney interactive game piece, which is basically a figure if you buy a starter pack at the store. But basically it just means they're bringing out the figures a little bit earlier in downtown Disney. It makes sense, they did it with most of the other launches. So that's quite a cool little bit for people in Disney.
Yeah, it gives them the edge, just like earlier this year. So yeah, we expected that to happen.
Yeah,
So.
it's just it's like I say, it's one of those little things. It's that kind of interesting thing really, because we're sort of just over a week now from the Disney side of things being released, and I don't know. Do you feel like there's as much sort of interest or as much buzz getting ready for this launch as there was for the Marvel side?
I think there still is, and that's only for those who were just not feeling the whole Marvel side of it. Not to mention there is still that huge Disney fan base that are just dying to have their hands on a Stitch or a
Yeah.
Tinkerbell or I wanted Baymax, or even Donald. You already got Donald.
Yeah,
You know what I
Donald,
mean?
yeah.
So it's like it's the anticipation. I think it's just the idea of a new toy, a new figure
Yeah.
coming out. It's still great, even though there is for me at first, I was like, because I like Marvel, I got Marvel. So the
Yeah.
other starter pack, I wasn't that excited about it. But to be honest with you, those toy box discs from Marvel were like, again, they were the plus side to the whole thing for me. I enjoyed it so much. Now I'm looking forward to the two Disney ones.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be good to
definitely
have
looking forward to it.
some new content that's direct from Disney, and it's gonna be interesting. I think what I'm looking forward to is once sort of the Disney side is out, pretty much everyone's going to be able to get hold of the game. Everyone, you got the digital version, you're going to have the Apple version. It just seems like it's all coming together in the next month, so everyone's going to be able to have a lot more access to it, and it's going to be for everybody then, not just for Marvel side. And hopefully then, once it's sort of out digitally and people have got the toy box version, the next few months are when everyone sort of gets into the game, and that's what we really want. More people playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's I definitely am. I'm excited for it. So
Yeah, I must
can't
admit,
wait.
it's I mean, I just saw Maleficent, the movie this week. Finally got
Mm.
round to renting it, and suddenly that means now like the character means a little bit more to me. So I was like, oh, Maleficent will be quite cool. Um, I mean, Big Hero 6 is one of those things of, I think with the movie coming out, it makes things a little bit different. People haven't got that connection yet, but I think once they start seeing the movie, there'll be that instant sort of click.
There's been a lot of new trailers at the local theater, and I've been noticing a bunch on television. So there's a huge following already. Even kids dressed up as Baymax for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. So, uh, yeah, the figures look awesome, and I'm sure once they see the movie, they're going to want it even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happened with Frozen, and I still think it's the perfect way for Disney to get into using platforms like this to attach to new properties and new movies. It's easier to put out some figures with some sky domes and a few toys than creating a whole video game that usually has pretty much meant that most of the time Disney Interactive really struggled with just making these often poor movies to tie in with games so quickly. This is what's going to stop that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and not to mention, you don't just have a game, but you also have a collection aspect to it with a
Yeah.
nice, really great design toy. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it'll be interesting as well. Once we start getting some play sets and stuff. But yeah, I think generally it'll be quite cool when this stuff come out. But it's one of those things we're going to discuss a little bit more in the coming weeks when we're going to go get all of the Disney side out. Also, this past week, New York City Comic Con, Travis put up his report. He was at the event, so you'll find that at Vinimation Kingdom. Basically, he was at the event and was able to kind of find out lots of pieces. We didn't really find out anything particularly new at that event, but it was just, if you haven't checked it out, it's worth going in and reading Travis's report from the event. Okay, so I think that is all of the news up to the Extra Life stuff. So we're going to kick off now with Extra Life. If you aren't familiar with what Extra Life was, it was a charity event running over the weekend where Disney and lots of other video game companies were trying to raise money for local hospitals throughout the US. Disney were doing their own live stream. They had lots of stuff like toy box artists were going through and explaining how to build stuff, which I've gone back and watched again, and it was great hearing the actual artists talk, or the mentors talking about building stuff. So far, I've literally just checked before we start recording this. They are literally like a few dollars off of $16,000 raised.
Oh wow.
And also, Disney have said that they are going to match everything raised. So that's pretty much going to double it. So that is really good. Part of the event meant that lots of people were sort of doing like a 24-hour games marathon. There was a Blitz challenge where you got to basically build a toy box based on Be a Hero. That was the theme. It was a 24-hour challenge. And there's a lot of stuff going on. I myself was... I sort of checked in with the other guys over on the Infinity podcast. Was playing Will and just trying to kind of just help them out. It was the middle of the night. They were a bit sleepy, so it's that kind of thing. It's all for charity, so that was the thing. You don't care what's going on. It's all just raising money for charity and donating money to JV and all the rest of it, and just trying to get money together for charity. Playing Disney Infinity, you can't really beat that. But I'm now going to pass that over to Abe because he was at the event in Los Angeles, and he can now share his own personal view. I was watching some of it on the stream, but so Abe, what was the event like and about?
So basically, Disney Infinity had an event, a family-friendly event, where they can bring their kids and have a good time at the Disney Interactive campus in Glendale, and it was quite a fun event, just to see. Usually, I'm an adult and I like this game, and obviously a bunch of my friends and everybody in this community mostly are adults, but it's just great to see the youth, the kids enjoy the game and really get into it. It was basically a big event where they had several game stations, catered food. You had like a section where you can color cards and write notes to any of the sick children at the hospitals that they're raising funds for. There was a disc trading station, which was kind of interesting how you're starting to see how these power discs are evolving as far as a collector's item. There was also simultaneous filming going on aside from the Twitch live feed with JV and Allison, but they also had the Disney Channel there, and they had a couple of teens that they had in a specific section of the whole place where they were filming them playing the game for a while, and even all over the place with other events in that area. They had a big setup for just the PC game alone for Infinity, and one of the cool things I noticed is they had an actual game controller set up for it, so a lot of people who are complaining about the keyboard and not having the ability, I believe, get a game controller because it's the best experience for the PC version. A donation station so you can contribute to the cause, but most of it was just playing the games. The kids were told to come dressed up in a costume, and they had a cool little contest for the kids, and gave away the 2.0 Originals figure to the kids who dressed up, and then they also had like the one grand prize winner, the best dressed. They gave them a starter pack of their choosing. But the cool thing, though, I was tapping into earlier was the power discs. They had a little trading station. They welcomed people to bring some of their extra power discs so they can trade. And even if they didn't, they were given a couple at the entry, for the kids. And it was cool because they could walk around and place their discs on the game station. If they wanted a different disc, they can go trade it. And it's cool. The new disc folios are awesome because it just makes me feel like when I was a little kid trading baseball cards with my neighbor or something like that. It makes you feel like it's definitely serving its purpose as not just a little add-on for your game, but it's also a collector's item. But aside from that, just watching JV and Allison do the 24-hour feed. I mean, not 24-hour. The 4 hours to kick off the event. Just on Twitch for it was cool. You see them playing with some figures that aren't out. I got to see Jasmine. Even though he took out his Green Goblin, I don't know if anybody got to see it on Twitch if he got to play with it, but
I don't recall that one.
Yeah, but anyways, Jasmine saw a few cool of her moves that we haven't really seen before. Like she has this whirlwind attack with flying carpets come out when she uses them, so it's kind of interesting. But overall, it was a fun event. It was definitely it was catered to family, which was awesome because children's hospital. You have kids, and it was very well tight-knit community. It was awesome to be there and help them reach the $15,000 mark. And according to what you said, now they're almost at 16, which is awesome. But it was a cool event. I was really glad I went to it. If you would like to see pictures from the event and all the cool festivities they had there, go ahead and tune into our VinylMationKingdom.com page or even the Facebook page, and you can actually see the article there.
Yep, and I'm actually was just sort of going through and just scrolling through the website so everyone could see those pictures just as you were talking. So that was even
Perfect.
So that was good timing. It was, I think, by the look. I mean, I was watching some of it on the live stream, obviously with time differences and work commitments, etc. Wasn't it? I managed to catch, I think, the last hour of the live webcast with the kids singing, sort of "Let It Go," and just in general, it just seemed to be there was a lot of excitement, and it was, it was quite funny just watching it, and I think it was a great event for a way of raising money for Disney. Oh, not raising money for Disney, but raising money for charity, but also a great sort of advertising event for sort of Disney Infinity as a whole ahead of the sort of the Disney launch. So I think that was really cool. Did you get to speak to anybody at the event, or they were sort of preoccupied, etc.?
During the event, I didn't get to speak to Johnny or Ellison, but obviously they were working the feed the whole time.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of the producers and designers that I've actually previously met at the various events like E3 and Comic-Con. But just talking to them, seeing how they're doing now. Obviously they get to breathe a little bit more since the games have been out, and it was just cool. It's great to be around the people and then show your appreciation for what they've done, and also to see it actually unfold in front of your eyes with all these kids enjoying it. So it was cool. I mean, I got to play as Baymax and Hulk. I alternated those two with this other little kid who actually was experiencing Infinity for the first time.
Yeah.
And by the 30-minute mark when we were playing for a while, like, he was basically telling me what to do. Like, he was becoming an expert. So it was really, really cool just to see that unfold before my eyes. So another cool thing I forgot to mention is, and a lot of people saw it on the Twitch feed, but they demoed the Merida Toy Box game.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to experience it myself hands-on, but just seeing it looks really cool. I'm kind of excited for it. Just to see, I mean, obviously, through the survival modes on the other ones that we have already, you can see some of those, like the bear-looking rock monsters that they have. Well, that one was full of them, and it looked kind of cool. So I'm kind of excited to play that once the 4th comes out here.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome event, man. It was really, really cool. It was cool to see.
I mean, I think it's the thing as well of sort of with it being a charity event and just a general. I think sort of Disney have sort of cottoned on to this idea that with the Toy Box Summit, an event like this, and with the when they did the launch back in, nowadays, streaming it out to the mass public is the best way of getting word out about these things. It's relatively now sort of technology is that much cheaper. They don't have to before everyone was sort of competing for like TV space and having to get the crews there. Well, now you can set up their own things, stream it worldwide, and you can basically it just works as a great way of sort of talking to the community and giving out adverts. And I really think it's fantastic that they've sort of been able to kind of get in and do this kind of things and use the technology to sort of just get the word out about stuff a lot better than just putting out official sort of press releases, just randomly.
Well, it also helps the community get involved. I mean, it's like usually they have announcement events certain parts of the world and you can't be there, but these feeds just help you be there.
Well, it's like amazing. It's like for me personally, being able to watch that event live on Twitch, and it's quite funny the fact that you were there in person. I was watching it just through my computer, and I even you could even watch it on your smartphone. It makes the whole thing just so much more accessible to everybody worldwide. I think it's exactly what they need to do, and I've got to say a big hats off to them for doing this kind of stuff. I think it's a great way of them getting word out.
Absolutely, it was definitely a privilege to be there. It was really cool to just to see them do such a. I mean, the event was honestly it was fun. It was a lot of Infinity, but it was the purpose behind it was to raise funds, and they were successful. It was perfect.
Yeah,
it was really
perfect. I mean, it was quite interesting. Sort of being on the live feed. People, they were asking questions, and we were able, as sort of people, being interactive to ask questions. We're able to ask, what characters do we want, and we could chime in. And, it's one of those things. I mean, every time, they do something like this, it usually sort of goes into like everyone sort of just shouting what characters they want to be added to the game. It's one of those things of, they've got so many Disney characters they can put in. It's just one of those things. There's always going to be something else that somebody wants to add. But I think it's great. I mean, it's like I said, there wasn't any major news coming out of the event, but that wasn't the purpose of it. It was there to raise money for charity.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that they did a little bit something new for us, like showing us the new Toy Box game disc, or even playing with Jasmine or the Green Goblin. It was just cool, just a nice little extra touch to something they didn't have to do. So
no, I think it was perfect. It makes perfect sense to roll out the Disney side of things before the launch, and I think just getting to see the new characters in play. So you said you were able to play as Baymax. Did you get to play any of the other new Disney characters?
I played as Baymax, and who else did I play as? I'm trying to remember. I wanted to play as Hero, but I didn't think I saw him out. I only saw Baymax and Donald. I got to play Donald a little bit, which is hilarious, by the way.
He waddles and flaps his feet as
man, I'm excited to get him for sure. But yeah, so I got to play with them there. They had a few of the Disney Paradises out there.
Yeah.
That I got to experience as well, and those were fun.
Any ones that stood out?
Well, what stood out for me was, I mean, obviously I got to play a couple others after the event because I was fortunate to receive a little gift, but a very generous person. But Maleficent, I got to play, and she definitely has dethroned Hulk for me.
Yeah, wow! To get rid of the Hulk, that must be quite.
She's awesome. I just obviously the figure is beautifully crafted. It's really whatever. I'll grab it.
Yeah.
It's very
there we go.
nicely designed. I mean, it's very, you saw the movie recently.
Yeah.
If you really look at her, it's very very lifelike. I think I have a figure of Angelina Jolie, not Maleficent. It's interesting. But anyways, just the way she plays in the game is phenomenal. I mean, like, I had her at level 1 or 2, whatever. Just even at 0, her simple attacks.
Yeah.
The way they're animated, the way it's not the same. When you, for the PS4 or PS3 players, when you hit the triangle to attack, it's not the same attack every single time. She'll alternate. She'll do some moves. She makes the sky around her turn dark when she does certain attacks. It's really cool. And then I haven't even leveled her up to experience her flight and everything. So
yeah, because I saw it. She was like flapping her wings, etc. And you can see the detail on the wings when she's flying, and you could really you could hear the flapping sort of sound effects. So she looks like she's going to be a lot of, because I mean, I had a class as just a villain and all the rest of it. Of course, you watch the movie and they sort of try to sort of in a wrestling term, they kind of did a babyface turn with her and sort of turned her into a good person.
Yeah, that was quite a change for us. And you know what? I at first thought wasn't gonna like that, but actually, I really did enjoy the movie. It was really good.
Yeah, sort of. That was the thing. I think because we watched the movie last week. My wife has been wanting to watch it for ages, but it only just got released this week on sort of Blu-ray, etc. And we sort of watched it, and it was a lot better than I was expecting.
She's definitely my favorite now.
No,
but I've also played Baymax and Aladdin and a few of the Power Discs, and they're just fun. It's something that everybody should be excited for on the 4th, because even though we didn't get toy boxes, these figures still play very uniquely, and they're really fun. And these toy.
Nope. We've just lost Abe on there. Has he come back in? Let me just check. Now he's just dropped off a second. Okay, so I'm just going to hold on. They're just trying to get him back online. Okay. So while we got Abe off there. So as I said, we have I don't know what Skype's doing here at this precise moment. Okay. So they're just trying to get him back on. So as I said, so at the actual event, Abe was able to get hold of a couple of extra figures. So we're going to try and find out a bit more about that. Now those figures are going to be out. I'm just going to actually hang up. Okay. So I mean, I think one of those things as well is generally with Disney Infinity that being able to have this set up over 2 different launches means that people are able to get hold of the Disney side, and I think people are going to really enjoy getting into the toy box. We're going to see a lot more toy boxes coming through, and just in general, I think it'll be a lot more interesting. Now, one of the things that we need to sort of think of with, because there's a lot of right, sorry about that, people. We just had that slight technical difficulty. I'm just trying to get it back on. Here we go, he's back. Okay, Abe, are you back? Yes,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, there we go. We're trying to do sort of trying to reduce the amount of technical difficulties possible, and then you don't go and pay your internet bill.
Uh-oh. Really? Was that what happened? Oh,
I don't know. The internet just sort of died off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It was that cat on that big scratch post behind you. There must have.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
man.
thing looks massive. It looks like you should put Aladdin in there, and he'd look quite at home.
Yeah, that's true, right? That might work. Let me see. I don't know if it works.
Okay, so getting
But,
back to those.
anyways, where were we?
Yeah, so we're back. Baymax or Baymax as he.
Oh yeah, Baymax. Baymax is really cool. His attacks obviously are a little still unknown to me. I started to play with it a little bit, tried to level it up. But just like you see in the trailers in the movies, when he's attacking, his arm will come off and attack and then come right back to him. But he's a fun figure. He's one of the ones that'll actually fly in the beginning, just like Iron Man and Thor and Nova. But he's a really cool looking figure.
Because I heard on the stream they had one of the people on there that designs all the packaging for those figures, and she said so they start designing the packaging in advance, and they said that he was one of the ones that was the biggest packaging they had to put together, and he was a real challenge to get into the box.
Yeah, and not to mention he was a real challenge to get out of the box too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of. It's just his stance. It's wide. It's open.
Yeah.
Not to mention he has the wings, so they had so much plastic hugging around him. But it's a massive figure. I mean, I don't know if you saw the picture that I put up on the article, but he's almost as big as Hulk. It's just he's not as big built or whatnot, but he's definitely a big figure. So,
Let's bring that
but
picture up. There we
he's
go.
still a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you can really sort of see he's in that kind of sort of Wreck-It Ralph Hulk kind of zone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
And that's
he's cool.
I mean, to be honest, it's that kind of thing of, I look at a character like those big figures, and and then you look at someone like Dash or Penelope, and you sort of think, it's just like it doesn't look right that there's such a big difference in size between them for the same price. But that's my own kind of little thing of looking at him. But so is Baymax a bit like Iron Man? That's what I keep sort of thinking. He's a bit like, he looks, what I've seen of it looks like in game.
Yes and no. I mean, he has his own unique attacks. I mean, if you wanna count the red suit and the fact that he can fly, then yes, then he's definitely Iron Man.
Yeah.
But other than that, like again, I really can't say 100% yet because I haven't really leveled him up completely or experienced all his final skills and attacks. But he's fun. He's definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, I still think Maleficent is pretty phenomenal.
Okay,
and in fact, she's the one that I've been playing the most.
Yeah.
And Aladdin is just cool too. Just it takes you back to the classic Disney video games where you're jumping around swinging the sword. I mean, he plays like the way I remember him back in
Yeah.
when
On the Mega Drive.
yeah, yeah. No, he's
I
cool.
remember that game. I remember having that game as well, and it was it was one of those. It's quite funny. You think think of like classic Disney video games, and there was an era sort of around the Mega Drive 2D era where Disney, they had, for me, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES was one of actually the very first video games I brought, and sort of games like that, DuckTales, Lion King, Aladdin, you know,
Yes.
um, World of Illusion, Castle of Illusion. That was kind of like a really good era of sort of Disney games.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. For me, it was like I was a Game Boy player. You know what I mean? I had Lion King. I had the Darkwing Duck game was so phenomenal for me. Like I really enjoyed it. So yeah. It's just it gives you a little taste of the classic Disney side. I mean, he plays just like those classic games, and not to mention a little bit more relevant, like the Kingdom Hearts.
yeah,
He has those great attacks as well, but just his design too is just great. It looks classic, but it's also, you know, it's Infinity styled,
yeah.
so it's cool. I'm excited for the originals pack just by looking at these figures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they're really cool.
And I think it's one of those things and now we're sort of over a month since the game's come out. It's one of those things of the toy boxes of what's starting to come out from people, what's starting to be created. And I think we're going to see a whole other side of things when the Disney side of it comes out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the terrains and textures are just brilliant. They definitely are going to add a lot to the toy box artists and their designs.
And I think,
Um,
yeah,
and just for the casual gamer, the new discs and also the costume changes for the traditional 1.0s
yeah.
are going to be awesome too.
Did you get to try any of those out?
Yes, I have, and
Yes.
they are awesome, awesome, awesome. I think the biggest hit for me is Sandy Claus and also his reindeer. Oh, it's so cool. It takes you back to the movie.
It's quite. It's. I still find it still one of those sort of funny things of having these power discs coming out for the new set coming out in a couple of weeks, and we've got 3 costume changes for 1.1 characters, and my little brain just doesn't really sort of look at it and go, well, it's like it's like the idea of they've gone back and gone to older characters that you think, to be honest, that they'd be constantly just pushing new. Buy this disc to go buy this new figure, and I think it's great that they actually went really back in and sort of tried to make the most of some of the classic characters, specifically from the starter pack.
Yeah, I honestly feel like they've been listening to the public. I honestly think it's been a lot of fan suggestion too. Like a lot of people wanted to see Mr. Incredible in his original suit. You know what I mean? A lot of custom toy painters, they would paint their own version of that, or even just to see like Mickey in his original form. Everybody wants to see that. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I think with Mickey,
who knows, that might happen.
I think with Mickey they could probably end up just doing another figure, and I think
Yeah,
that would,
variant.
I think that's
he
the
would be
one that
best
could
figure
get.
for variants.
Yeah. I think with Mickey, he's kind of one of those things. If they did a classic Mickey Mouse figure, it would be okay. I think using his power disc system for costume changes is perfect. There's no reason they can't have multiple power discs for different characters if they really wanted to. But it adds. Oh, I think Abe has just dropped off again. Okay, sorry about that, people. Okay, has he dropped off? Yep, looks like his internet's dropped off again. Like I said, with the power discs, by having the ability to come in and sort of use some of the original characters, like Mr. Incredible and Captain Jack from the starter pack, and be able to pop those discs down and be able to use it, it's going to be really good, and it adds that additional value. I'm really excited about using Captain Jack's one where you turns him into the ghost version. So that's really cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick look at some of the toy boxes from this week. Okay, so here we go. So I'm now just going to run through some of this week's toy boxes. So this week's theme was the Guardians of the Galaxy, and there was 5 new toy boxes created by the different artists, and they were all brand new artists. They'd not been featured for the first time, which is really exciting to see what new people are coming up with. There was also 2 toy boxes from the Disney community team, Infinity Escape and Spider-Man Heist. So they're up there. And we have got a back in the building.
So sorry. I think it's Hulk. He smashed my internet box because I said Maleficent's better now. So.
Right. While we await, I'm just going to just finish off with the just a quick run through of this week's toy boxes. Did you get time to play any of the toy boxes this week?
Actually, I don't think I played any of the 5. I played random toy boxes, including your toy box, which was fun, by the way.
Oh, what's the?
But none of the top 5. Sorry.
No, well, I've played the 2 that I said, Spider-Man Heist and Infinity Escape. I haven't got round to playing the 5 Guardians of the Galaxy playset. Sorry, not playset. Guardians of the Galaxy toy boxes, because I was sort of playing online as part of the Extra Life yesterday. That was my time I'd usually sort of put aside to do those toy boxes. So I'm going to try and do them. They'll be up later in the week. So it's quite interesting to sort of see, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they're going to be very popular toy boxes. And I think it's just in general, what I'm really excited was the fact that all 5 toy boxes were brand new toy box artists. They've never been featured before.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were all brand new. So I think that's a great idea. I think in general, we're going to see a lot more toy boxes coming out from people, and I think having the new game's going to bring new blood in, and it's a lot easier, and there's going to be a lot more stuff coming through.
Look out, toy box artists! There's the new people in town.
Yeah, I think in general that was always going to be the case.
Yeah, I agree.
I think also. They also did that Blitz challenge, the 24-hour challenge. So you had to do a BR hero, and I know we haven't seen any of them come up yet. But basically, everyone had a 24-hour timeline to do these toy boxes. So therefore, because it's a bit more rushed, it makes it a little bit more interesting, a bit like the Toy Box Summit. Now, I knew I wasn't going to have the full 24 hours to play. But what I did on Saturday evening, I decided, right, I've got 3 hours to play Disney Infinity, and I actually decided to make my own sort of mini Extra Life challenge for this Be Our Hero, and I thought, right, in 3 hours, let's see what I can create as a whole toy box and get it submitted. Just as it was a bit of a personal challenge for me as well to see what you could do within a very, very small timescale, because I'm currently in the middle of building a big sort of toy box, and I spent hours and hours building it, and I was quite interested to see what I could do within like sort of a very small window. And I used the city builders, and I basically sat there and I put up like 5 domes, and basically the idea was, is a challenge. I had made it so you had to basically rescue all 5 domes, because Disney World had invaded New York because the time portal and all the rest of it. It doesn't really make too much difference what it was. But what I was able to do was create up all the logic toys, create it as a toy box things, and basically scatter it out. I managed to test it, and I submitted it. Now, I'll admit, for a 3-hour toy box, I was actually, yes, it's rough around the edges. I didn't get to sort of basically tidy it all up. But what I was really impressed with was the fact that I was able, in less than 3 hours, to create a toy box, add an element of gameplay to it, so you had a definite challenge, play it through, and I thought, well, if I did that all in 3 hours with me basically not focusing on things, I was really impressed at how quickly, maybe having a bit of practice now playing in the toy box, of what I was able to create so quick.
Yeah, it's the cool thing about 2.0 Toy Box. It's definitely a little bit more user friendly.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to inspire new new players to the game and also old 1.0 players who weren't really crazy about the toy box to become toy box artists. You know, it's going to be
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
I mean, I just found in general sort of the idea of sort of building toy boxes. I tried doing it in the first game, and I'd get very frustrated very quickly. And I've been hurt. I've spent hours every evening just building a toy box, and I never, like I said, I never did it before, and it's just I'm finding it so enjoyable, and I'm really getting the whole sort of building sort of buzz, and it's really interesting to see sort of how and doing the logic toys and working out how to build stuff. And I'm thinking, well, if I was doing this and I didn't like building toy boxes in the first game, there must be so many more people doing this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even I, just who wasn't really into building much. I just built a test toy box
Yeah,
just to play around and figure things out and try discs out, and I've found myself spending hours in there
yeah.
because there's some cool stuff there, and it's so easy now.
And
So
with the thing of being able to get the newest toy boxes, the developers' picks, there's constant new content daily.
mhm.
I'm kind of hoping that maybe Disney do this the that challenge that the PC version. If they could work that onto the console versions, it'd make it even better. But I think this is one thing that we haven't. It's
and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and so we were originally going to be discussing the Guardians of the Galaxy playset, but we're going to push that back to next week because of all the extra life stuff that
That's
A's
right.
been talking about. So we're going to do Guardians next week. So with just a sort of a few more minutes, any of the power discs that you got to try out, which ones sort of jumped out to you from the new Disney side of things that you were excited
Um,
about?
okay, so I try to. Sorry, I had to relocate my computer here. Well, I got to try them all. They are all pretty awesome as far as new content. I was impressed to see more costume. I'm sorry, not costume. Change this. I was impressed to see only event discs on the Disney side
Yeah,
than team ups, which is great. And the reason why I say that is it leaves the window open to creating those figures later on in the future. King Louis event disc was cool, but I would love to have a King Louis figure. So that's great that they didn't do a team up. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean, they've
but
already sort of laid out the fact that with Yondu, that if they do a team up this, they can still do a figure if they want to.
they can. I just think that was more of a last minute decision because
Yeah,
of the movie's popularity. Um, but aside from that, one of the cool things that stood out to me was the magic carpet, and because I thought it was one of those discs where you put it down and basically, the vehicle falls from the sky
yeah.
and then you can jump on. It actually rolls up and you carry it on your back. So kind
Oh
of like,
right.
yeah, it comes right off, just like if you were using like, the cape or whatever,
Oh, so it's
or
more like it's a bit like the hoverboard used to be, where it's more of a pack rather than.
exactly. And it's cool. It's a rolled up carpet and it's diagonal on your back and you're running around with this carpet. And finally, you want to fly, you just it lays flat, you jump
Ah,
on, and
right. I see. See, I think actually it's like specifically with a lot of the flying side of things now. With I know myself that I tended to like the flying characters,
yeah.
and in some of the toy boxes, specifically with like if you've got it's they're so big now, trying to get around some of the big cities and stuff without flying is pretty difficult. So having these little discs that you can pop down and use them does make life a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and then here's another thing that I noticed that was pretty cool. A lot of people, well, at least I was one of them that was thinking, okay, the cool little the bed that you can unlock in the game right
Yeah,
now, from what was it?
bedknobs and
The
broomsticks.
thank you. Um, that I thought was going to be similar to the flying carpet, and also the Phineas and Ferb
Yeah,
version of the living room and carpet. But they're all pretty different because on the bed you sit down with your legs crossed. The Phineas and Ferb you sit down like you were in a chair, and
yeah,
then the carpet you're standing. So you're flying differently
yeah.
on similar looking vehicles, which is kind of cool. Um, Something that I did try, two different power discs that I tried that was a little bit of a letdown, was the Main Street Electrical Parade vehicle.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately, what's wrong with that? Well, for me or the traditional, huge Disney park fans,
yeah.
looks like the music has changed. It's not the original Electrical Parade music.
All right.
It's more of a carnival stylish music.
Yeah.
It's still cool. It's awesome, but all of us nostalgic people want to hear the Main Street Electrical Parade theme. So, and another thing that I noticed, at E3 when I tried the Darkwing Duck motorbike,
Yeah.
when you use the boost, this like cartoon like pixelated smoke would come out
Yeah.
from the back. That seemed to not
Oh right.
be in the game this time around when I tried it. So I don't know if that's something that's going to be added with a downloadable patch or DLC later on. But for now, the Power Disc does not have that animation on it.
All right.
But those were the only two downsides. All the discs basically were just awesome. The Lion King Sky and texture discs, awesome. They play the Circle of Life soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen the Lion King one at an event as well. That looked really cool. And
Yeah,
there was a toy box which had the Heroes Duty one with the
yeah.
sword. I mean
Those are so.
that just looked fantastic. I mean that just looked such a cool sky dome.
Yeah. I tried those out as well, and they are a lot of fun. Some of the weapons from the multiple franchises, including Wreck-It Ralph, the Hero's Duty gun is pretty cool. It's pretty accurate to the movie.
Yeah, I think they've
Uh,
kind of with the Marvel side they've introduced guns a little bit more sort of they're less sort of Lone Ranger style.
Right. They're definitely still like red tipped to
Yeah,
simulate a fake gun, but they're definitely shooting multiple things like, lasers and other things.
making way for blasters.
Yeah, exactly. What else am I trying to think of? Trying to see what else that I enjoyed. I did notice that all of the rares this time around
Yeah,
are all hexagonal. So, but they're all vehicles per se.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I
a
think
lot of
it's
the vehicles were cool too. So.
yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see how sort of the Disney side reacts to the whole sort of having 40 discs at once, because it's been quite different with the Marvel side of things. Sort of how people reacted to having so many all at once rather than having like the 3 different waves that we had in the first game.
Yeah, but to tell you the truth, I think I've noticed positives and negatives to this way of launching the discs, but I honestly think it's great for those who want all of them at once
Yeah.
because just having to constantly wait for more and more new things to be released, it gets a little repetitive and frustrating. So I'm okay with waiting for figures, but at least let me have all the power discs to try them all out. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm with that side of the crowd.
yeah, I mean, it's like for me, literally day one, I will be going out and buying like 20 packs of of the Disney side of things.
Right.
But also, because there's 40 of them, if you're a kid or money's an issue, you can spread them out. There's no reason to go out and buy as many as you want. It just seems, I mean, I literally just need 2 more figures or 2 more power discs from the Marvel side to complete it. Literally, the Spider, I think it's the Spider Terrain and
That was,
the
go
Iron
ahead.
Man Sky, which I think, and I'm
Those are
sure
like the hardest to find.
those seem to be, they're harder to find than the rares. They, I don't know what went on with them. I last night I just managed to sort of snipe one on eBay of the Sky Star Lord's Terrain, which was one of the ones that I needed. But these 2 discs that I need, it's like nobody's got them. They're not on eBay. That nobody's got them in any of the groups. It's just like insane.
You know what's funny is because I'm still trying to pick up 2 of the Groot ones, and I could have got them at the Extra Life event because they had
Yeah,
a trading station, and part of me was kicking myself in the butt for that because I could have traded for them, but I was more so happy to see the kids
yeah.
experience it, so that was cool. But no,
Next time, take some spare discs in your pocket. That's what you need to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. No, but it's okay. I honestly I had a great time. I love seeing the kids enjoying it, and plus I was kind of again blessed by generous
Yeah.
gestures to get some of this stuff earlier. So, but
Okay.
aside from that, yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, stay tuned to more videos for us because we will be having some power discs and some gameplay from these figures as
Yeah,
well.
that's
So,
cool. Yeah, so we were working that out last night, and I'm going to be sorting that out this week. It's basically try and get most of them. There is some footage of Donald that I've already put up.
Mhm.
We've also we've had some videos from like Stitch and Tinkerbell. Earlier back, that was about a month or so ago. There is some videos up on our YouTube channel as well. So
Mhm.
remember to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and comment below what you are excited about, what you did for Extra Life, etc. And also just to say, we have got an audio version of this going up on like iTunes and Stitcher and etc. as well. So if you want to listen to us on the go, you can do that. But again, thank you very much to Abe for joining me as today's co-host. We had a few slight technical issues,
Sorry.
but that's to be expected. It's
Well,
it's
it'll
one of
happen.
those things, that little cable running between sort of between like Hollywood and UK. You know, it's can be a
Yeah,
bit
it's pretty long.
you know, that the 2 cups and the piece of string. It's quite a bit.
Yeah,
But
we
no,
need better string.
yeah. Like I said, so next week we're going to look again at the Guardians of the Galaxy playset. Because the week after we are then into full Disney mode, because it's it'll be next weekend will be the day before the Disney side. So we'll depends if we've got figures and stuff, because it depends if things get out early, etc. I'm fingers crossed. I might, because in the UK we don't get the Disney side officially till the 7th of November, so I won't
Yeah,
have.
but you got Donald already, so that's a great sign.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that some of the figures, because I've got the toy box starter pack on pre-order, anyway, just to get hold of the discs, etc. early. Have you ordered your starter pack as well, or?
Um, Actually, I don't think I have, but yet you can always do it to the last minute here and
Yeah.
still get a free figure. So
We didn't get the free figure offer here in the UK, which is slightly bizarre. But then the price on a lot of the websites seem to have, they've dropped the price a little bit, maybe to sort of counteract it.
gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't. There doesn't seem to have been as many. But no, I think there has been reports of different stores sometimes putting stuff out early onto the figures. So if you are out and about, it's worth having a quick check, because there has been reports of some stores sort of dropping figures early. I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Yeah. However, it doesn't guarantee you the figure though. There's been so many people turned down from what
Yeah.
I've heard. So
It's
But,
one of those. It's one of those.
worth
weird
a try.
It's one of those. Yeah, I must admit, if I was in the store and I saw it on the shelf, I'd pick it up and try it, and then I'd, you know, it's not going to the case of, yeah, if they wouldn't sell it to me, I'd be annoyed, and I would probably, would say that that it shouldn't have been out. But it's that thing of, there's no point getting ratty with members of staff. It just comes up on the computer till saying that they shouldn't be selling it, and usually the staff in the back, specifically in a lot of the big sort of the supermarkets, etc. They're dealing with so many different products. Having worked in a supermarket myself for a few years when I was younger, they're not games retailers, and so they don't. Sometimes they don't fully grasp sort of dates the same.
Yeah. But on that note, though, if you are patient, persistent, and very kind, you might be able to sway them to sell it.
Yeah, you just stand there,
Because it's happened to me.
It's like, please, can I have it? I want this toy. It's for me. Okay, guys, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for checking us out. And once again, thanks to Abe for joining us. And we'll be back next week with some more Disney Infinity news. And I forgot to plug DivineAnimationKingdom.com and our Facebook group, Infinity and Beyond. Come and join us over there, and we'll see you all guys soon.
Stay tuned.
Oh, he's look at that. He's teasing us.
Tune in. You're going to see some cool stuff. I feel like a little kid.